technique that you can force, push, move faster. It has to run its own course. Okay? Another way I describe it is like driving a semi-truck. Has anyone ever driven an 18-wheeler? I so want to do it one time. I've never done it, but I want to try it. But I imagine sitting in that big old Barca Lounger chair, the big old wheel, and that 18 gears or 20 gears, I don't even know what it has, but you're like, first gear, second gear, eighth gear, and then you get it up to speed and you're driving down I-40 at 65, 70 miles per hour. You have a lot of potential energy behind you. Like you're not stopping on a dime or a quarter or a block. You got to anticipate where you're going to drive off. And if we're going to cook risotto, let's think of it like we're taking a semi-truck over to Winslow. Okay, so we're getting right now what we're doing is we're pulling out of the San Francisco parking garage, and we're just getting everything up started, right? And then we're going to get it up to speed. Once it's up to speed, we're cruising, right? It's easy, right? We're just cruising down the road. And then you have to anticipate where you're going to get off at. You all can do this in a car, right? Or a bike. It's why you're still standing here, or walking even. Because you already know the signs and the things to do. You don't even think about it. But I imagine if you've never driven a semi-truck, you'd be thinking a lot differently. It's no different than making risotto. They're just different signs, okay? Winslow 2 miles ahead. Maybe you start pulling over into the turnoff lane, right? 1 mile ahead. You're just making sure you got enough room. Half mile, quarter mile. Now you're you're slowing down. You get to your pull off. You slow way down, put your brakes, and kind of veer off. And then you see a stop sign at the end, so you're still stopping, and then you stop. And you made it to Winslow. So that's kind of like making risotto, because it takes a lot to get up to speed, and then you've got this potential energy. You're adding liquid in small batches. You don't want to add too much liquid. You want to make sure there's enough liquid in there, but it's got to stop at the stop sign. And the window of doneness on risotto is very, very small. This is why it's such a prized thing in the culinary world, because you have to know what the signs are, and you know how to get there. Okay. How many of you have ever had risotto before? Okay, so we have some people that have had risotto. Doing this at weddings and for restaurants is challenging, because sometimes Bridezilla doesn't want her food served right now, right? It's like, no, we're still doing this, photos or whatever. Or Aunt Matilda just arrived. We have to get the picture. So, in the kitchen it's nuts, because it takes 45 minutes to an hour to make risotto properly. How do you do it in a restaurant? How do you do it in a banquet setting? It's challenging. It's a process that requires your full attention. You have to be awake, alert, alive, engaged the entire time. You can't just go on TV mode. What? You can't do that. You gotta stay awake. Right, Christian? Very good. So what we're going to do is, I'm going to walk you through, I think that probably the easiest way is to break it up between software and hardware, and then we'll talk about process as we go.